Y'all, I am happily married to my wife, Nikki, of over 17 years. But the motivation behind this video is because I am drastically concerned at the number of men who are just deciding not to get married. Now, I've heard a lot of reasons over the years, but here of late, I keep hearing about this gift of singleness. And for some reason, I just can't get over it. Does the gift of singleness exist? We're going to talk about it. Let's get it.
Would be my dream come true. Maybe one day.
Thank y'all for joining us on That Christian Fam. My name is Jermaine and welcome to the Masculine Christianity series. If growing in the faith is important to you, hit that subscribe button because over here we like to encourage, empower, and give you everyday practical Christian advice on real life situations. We drop videos whenever we drop videos. So hit that notification bell because for the first hour, we'll respond to comments immediately. Y'all, there's about 55 to 60% of y'all who watch all of the videos, but you don't hit that subscribe button. Please hit the subscribe button because that's one of the ways you can support this channel. And on our lives, y'all can hit that super chat button. And here in a minute, we're going to have a membership that you can actually join and be a part of. But listen, stop playing games and hit that sub button. All right, y'all, let's jump right into it. Does the gift of singleness exist? Well, first and foremost, I want to give y'all the definition of the gift of singleness. It means that God has endowed you with the gift of having the ability to remain single while dedicating your life to Him and abstaining from sexual immorality. I just said a mouthful. If God calls you away from something, it means He's calling you to something. For instance, when you consider the word sanctification, it means to be set apart, and that applies to all believers. But He sets us apart for the work of the ministry. Now, let me go ahead and clear this up. To do the work of the ministry doesn't mean that you need to hold a title in the church. It just means that you need to be willing to be used by God in order to advance His kingdom. So when we examine this gift, let's look and see what Paul had to say about his singleness. It says in 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verses 32 through 35. I ain't no journalist, but y'all know what's up. It says, I would like you to be free from concern. An unmarried man is concerned about the Lord's affairs, how he can please the Lord. But a married man is concerned about the affairs of this world, how he can please his wife, and his interests are divided. That's the key point right there. An unmarried woman or virgin is concerned about the Lord's affairs, but a married woman is concerned about the affairs of this world, how she can please her husband. I am saying this for your own good, not to restrict you, but that you may live in a way in undivided devotion to the Lord. I'm about to paraphrase what I just read. Paul says, I thank God that I'm single because now I can put all my time and effort to the advancement of God's kingdom. I wish y'all were like me because we could get even more accomplished. But since y'all have wives, cool, I understand. Do as much as you can. We don't all have the same gifts. And I believe he mentions that actually earlier in that same chapter. So now that we have a clear-cut definition of what the gift of singleness is and what it's meant for, are you truly convinced that the dispensation of this gift was just poured out on the masses? My fear is that we have a lot of people within the faith claiming to have that gift, and it becomes a cover for their refusal to be vulnerable. It becomes a cover for them not to put themselves in a position to be married. It becomes a cover for them not to do the work to make themselves marriage material. It becomes a cover for them to not get the help needed for them to overcome past trauma. It becomes a cover for them to live life on their own terms instead of God's terms. Here's an alarming stat. 2 of every 4 white women and 1 in every 4 black women will ever be married in their lifetime. Don't tell me that the same God who said it's not good for man to be alone and to be fruitful and multiply parted the curtains of heaven and said, I'm about to give a good amount of y'all this wonderful gift called the gift of singleness. We just love to make excuses and blame it on God because it's hard for anybody to refute what we claim God gave us. Now, I know I just shout out some women stats, but this video ain't about the women. It's about you, bruh. Here's some things for us to consider if we're going to remain single for the rest of our lives or for an extended period of time. Are we going to practice abstinence for the rest of our lives or this extended period of time? Because God would never call you away from a covenant relationship in order for you to gratify the flesh. Are you claiming that God called you away from marriage, but you out there doing what married folks do? We can present ourselves to be content in our singleness and in fellowship with God, but behind closed doors, we trying to hit anything with a skirt end of a JJ. Did he just say what he said? Are we claiming this gift but watching porn in our private time? Preach, Jermaine, I'm doing the best I can. The truth of the matter is, a lot of us within the faith don't have this gift we claim to have. We've just chosen to live a life of transgression, and I've already explained what transgression is. Transgression is when we have willingly chosen to live a life of sin, which does not sever our relationship with God, but it drastically severs our fellowship with God. Think about a kid that gets bad grades in school. Oftentimes, it's because they refuse to apply themselves in order to excel in the class, to get A's on the test, and to pass the course. What did I just say? Brothers, if you're heterosexual, not locked up, and you know God, there's no reason for you not to put yourself in a position to be married to all those single women out there. It's not that you're incapable or lack what it takes. You just got to apply yourself and do the work. Women, if you're watching, don't say there's no good men out there. There's a lot of good men out there. I'm just trying to encourage our single brothers to do what it takes to become attractive. What is attractive? I'm glad you asked. Well, first and foremost, someone who acts in purpose. How do we discover our purpose? Well, that's by having a healthy relationship and fellowship with God so that we can hear from him when he communicates to us what we should be pursuing. Because I got news for you. There's a lot of people out there pursuing stuff they shouldn't be pursuing. That's why they will spinning in the mud, because God never gave them the green light in the first place. And there are several other things that are important, like health, being responsible, having an income. You don't necessarily have to have a job, but you need to have income, maturity, all of those things. There's several different ways that we can level up in order to make ourselves suitable for marriage. For all the brothers out there watching right now, I want to pose this question to you. If a woman were to follow you, would you have a place to lead her? Number two, would you be a good leader? And lastly, is there anything about you that gives off the aroma that you have good leadership and responsibility? Because I know we have a lot of women out there who are concerned about and chase the bag. And to keep it a buck with y'all, bruh, you don't want that woman no ways. But for the most part, there are a lot of women out there who desire to be wives and to be married, because there is a difference. There's a lot of people who are married, but they ain't wives. That's a whole nother video all by itself. But for the women out there who desire to be married and to be a wife, stability and purpose are two of the first things that they look for. So does the gift of singleness exist? Yes, it does, but it's not as common as people like to say it is. There's a lot of people out there claiming this wonderful gift of singleness, but they really using it as a cover up, but we pulling back the covers today. So brother, if you watching this video, don't say this video was for somebody else or they should see it. Brother, it's for you. I'm challenging you. Examine yourself and see if there's some areas where you're lacking, and do what you can to level up for yourself first, and also so you can catch the eye of your wife that's out there looking for you. Masculine Christianity. Thanks for watching. I hope I helped somebody on the other side of this video. And for all the trolls or anybody else, if you're offended, I really don't care.